Video 6. Installing the Energizer and grounding your fence. In this video, we will show how to install an Energizer and a grounding system for a permanent electric fence. There are two types of fence Energizers. The first is an AC powered Energizer, which runs off of 110 volt AC power and is plugged into a standard grounded outlet. The second option is a DC Energizer, which operates off of battery power. When using a DC charger for a permanent fence, you'll need to pair the unit with a solar panel. You can purchase these items separately, or certain brands make solar-powered units with pre-enclosed batteries, like this Parmac unit. There are many brands of Energizer. We've had the best luck with Stayfix, Speedrite, and Gallagher models, delivering 1 joule of energy or more. When choosing an Energizer, it's important to pick one with a high enough joule rating to deter wildlife like bears. The Energizer must have a joule rating of 0.7 to 1 stored joules or higher. For more information on choosing an Energizer, see our fencing page on our website. For this video, we will be showing how to install an AC-powered Energizer on our permanent fence. For an example of a solar-powered Energizer installation, see our video series on modifying fences with electric wires. The first step for installing your Energizer will be to find a place to hang it next to the fence in a safe, sturdy location. For this fence, we'll be installing the Energizer on the side of a building using screws. Once the screws are in, line up the holes on the back of the Energizer and hang it in place. For any questions on how to install the Energizer, be sure to follow the manual that comes with the Energizer you purchase. Next, we will dig a trench to the fence to bury the lines that will carry current from the Energizer to the electric fence. The trench should be at least 6 inches deep, leading from the Energizer to the fence. Next, we will hook up the ground connection and hot connection from the Energizer to the fence. To do this, strip and attach an insulated wire rated for direct burial to the Energizer's hot terminal. Run the wire in the trench from the Energizer to the fence and cut it to an appropriate length. At this stage, it's also useful to mark the hot wire at both ends to avoid confusion once the wires are buried. Repeat this process with the ground wire, attaching it to the appropriate terminal on the Energizer. When burying a ground wire, always use insulated cable to prevent rust and shorts in the future. Bury the cables and tamp the dirt in place. Now we'll connect the Energizer to the fence. Strip an inch or so of insulation from the cable leading back to the Energizer's hot terminal. Then connect the cable to any of the fence's hot wires with a wire tap. Crimp the tap well to ensure a tight connection. The next step in the process is driving and connecting the ground rods. Since an electric fence must be well grounded to deliver an effective shock, make sure to follow any instructions included with your Energizer. For this fence, we're using 5 separate 5-foot long galvanized rods. Your ground field should be near the fence and, ideally, in soil that won't dry out too much. Lay out your ground rods, making sure to space them at least 10 feet apart. Drive the ground rods, using a post pounder or sledgehammer. Get them as deep as possible into the soil, leaving about 6 inches exposed. Using high tensile wire, the same kind you used on the fence, connect the ground rods together. Use round rod clamps to fasten the ground wire to each rod. Be sure to tighten the clamps well with a wrench or pliers. Once all of your ground rods are wired together, attach the high tensile wire's end to the buried, insulated cable leading back to the fence Energizer's ground terminal. Use a wire tap and crimper to make a secure connection. With our hot and ground wires installed and connected, we're now ready to test the fence. Plug in the Energizer and turn it on. At the fence, use a voltmeter to measure the current in each hot wire. You can also test the ground wire to make sure that it isn't carrying any current. This fence is testing well. All the hot wires are carrying more than 8,000 volts, which is enough to deter wildlife. With the Energizer switched on, take a walk around the fence. Test each wire at multiple locations to make sure that current is flowing well and that there are no shorts or faulty connections. If everything tests well, you're finished. You've installed a permanent, high-tensile electric fence. If you find a problem, don't worry. Just watch the next video in this series for information on maintaining and troubleshooting electric fences.